Who's he?
Kentman!
He's not important!
Okay. Hello, gamers and collectors. It's your boy Kentman, and can I take you back in time for a minute to kind of bond with you for a while? Because I wanted to talk about November 17, 2006. I don't know if many of you know the importance of that day, but that's the day when the PS3 released. 2 days after my birthday, which was November 15th. So it was almost like this system was made for me. It was like they wanted me to have it, but I had to give up everything for this system. Back when I was 17 years old, I had no money. I was barely working at that time. I, had a crappy Starbucks job, and I was only making, so money, but I needed a little bit extra to get the PS3 because this is high definition, backwards compatibility, PS2 games, PS1 games, and I needed to have this system, and I was a little short. So I did the only thing I could at the time, and that's to sell all my other previous consoles. Oh, I know. All the systems from PS2, Dreamcast, all the games, and Nintendo 64, all of it, just for one console. Definitely wouldn't do that today's standards. That past Kentman was stupid. I mean, I'm still kind of stupid, but I'm a little smarter. That was stupid. But either way, I managed to get the money to get this PS3, and oh my God, when I took it home, I played nothing, because I wasn't able to actually afford a game. But I looked at it a lot. It was very pretty. I mean, I was able to play some of the PS2 games I kept and PS1 games, but I wasn't able to play anything because the PS3 games wasn't really interesting at the time. Yeah. But after a few years, a lot of games did come out, and I was very happy. And I kind of wanted to talk about some of those games that I loved on the PS3. Starting with one called A Beautiful Oh my God, the sunlight is destroying this image. Okay. Catherine for the PS3. Now, this game came out on the PS3 and the Xbox 360, and it had two different covers depending on which game you got. It was the same game, but it was a cool little thing that Atlas did. It's kind of copying the Pokemon thing, even though Pokemon released on the same console. But I love Catherine. You play as a guy named Vincent who is having a little bit of, marital problems. He has one fiance named Catherine with the K. She wants to get married, but he's not really all for about getting married. He kind of wants to keep the single life. So then he meets Catherine with the C, and now he's kind of thrown into this death game of climbing these mazes and trying to get out. And you also can socialize in the bar and drink wine and hang out with your friends and do all kinds of stuff. And it was kind of a very big revolutionary game at the time. Catherine was very hot. Plus, she was played by Laura Bailey, which is my favorite voice actor of all time, female voice actor of all time. So it made me want to really pick it up and try it out. And I actually ended up loving it. It had some really intricate ways of building up the mazes. And then once you learned the intricacies of how to move up the ladder faster, it was a lot of fun. Plus, you're getting chased by all these very disturbing monsters that's trying to kill you of your sleep personifications and stuff, and it was a great game. I love it to this day. And then they got a nice little remaster a lot later called Full Body, which I do have over there on the PS4, and it's a pretty good game. It adds another Catherine named Ren, which is cool, I guess, but it kind of messes up the feng shui of the PS3 and Xbox 360. I feels like the game should have released on Wii, because then they could have had another cover for Ren at that time, but I guess Nintendo didn't want it back then, and they did now, so because it released anyway. Catherine was a great game. I loved it. Amazing fan service, amazing gameplay, and an overall great story. If you haven't played it before, I definitely recommend it. It's on almost all platforms at this point, from PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox, and even Switch. So you have a lot of ways to play it at that point. Next game, of course, this is the game that started my Atelier fandom to this day, and that is Atelier Rorona. Now, I don't need to talk to you guys about how much I love Atelier. I've been doing that for eons at this point. At this point, I've talked many times about Ryza, Yumie, and the new Atelier games coming out. I've talked about it so much, but Rorona is where it all started for me. This was the game that really dived me into the franchise because my brother, along with another game I'm going to talk about, which if you've been part of this channel, you know where I'm leading with this, is he couldn't vibe with this game. He wasn't really understanding it at the time, and he was like, hey, I got this game, I bought it, I'm not really vibing with it. If you want it, you can have it. And I was like, sure. I mean, one, it's a free game for my PS3 that I didn't have games for. And then two, I wanted to try it out. And I took it home and I fell in love with it instantly. The moment the opening came on, wish I was innocent, wish I was innocent, wish I was innocent. Bro, I love the music for Rorona, and plus Rorona was super cute and adorable. She was a young apprentice alchemist that her teacher forced the shop on her after it was going to get closed, and now she's trying to protect it, and all she really wanted to do was bake pies. Well, she liked alchemy too, but she liked baking pies, and now she was forced to try to not get her shop closed. And you know, it became this one wonderful, amazing game that I just wasn't expected to be good to me at the time, but then it became super good and I became infatuated with the series. It was just a fun mix of synthesizing and gathering and time management, which I wish this didn't have because it's really brutal, and also good turn-based JRPG combat that I really enjoyed. I really did enjoy this game, but this game can get brutal. This game might look cute and fuzzy, but it is a very hard game if you haven't played this game before, because of mostly the time management, and sometimes the fights can get a little brutal, but I still loved it nonetheless. This is where it all started, and I love this series so much that I am part of the problem that will buy any of the games, no matter if it's bad or good, deluxe included. And then the next game we gotta talk about is Hyperdimension Neptunia. The 15th anniversary is happening right now, and it feels so good, and I cannot wait to see the brand new game. And I've been talking about it for the past couple days, probably getting a little annoying about it, but this is the game it all started from. Hyperdimension Neptunia on the PS3. This game is kind of old, kind of bad, but I still love it. It's what started everything for me. This game released on August 19th, 2010. Yeah, that's when it released. And it's been 15 years since then, and I still love it. I still love it. I still love Purple Heart. I still love Vert or Green Heart. I love Blanc or White Heart. I love Noir or Black Heart. And I just love the concept about the games being about the console war. It's a very goofy series that doesn't take itself seriously, or it shouldn't be. And then it got remakes and all that, and it spawned into a whole new franchise. This is another game my brother wasn't really vibing with, so he gave it to me, and I loved it ever since. I loved it. I loved it. I love this series so much, and I cannot wait for the brand new game. And I love this game. Now, sometimes the Atelier series and the Neptunia series fights on what is my favorite JRPG franchise along with another franchise. It circles around depending on the games I'm playing within that series at the time. And man, these two games literally changed me and boosted me into loving more than just Final Fantasy for JRPGs. Now, speaking of Final Fantasy, the other game that I played on the PS3, not this. I mean, I did play this, but this is not the game I'm talking about. Hold on, give me a second. Lightning Returns are pretty cool, but that's not the game we're talking about. The game I'm talking about is Final Fantasy 13. Oh my goodness. This game has a lot of different loves, likes, and hates from me, but I really did enjoy this game a lot. It might be a linear experience. It might be a Final Fantasy VII clone in some senses of the words, which, you know, for me, being Final Fantasy VII being my favorite game of all time, I loved it. I mean, Lightning is essentially just Cloud, female Cloud, and you have a very fun, ditzy girl, but very lovable, who's about the planet, being Vanille. And then you have the optimistic love guy, who is Zack, but Snow. And then you have a guy, black guy with a gun. That is Zaz. That's Bear, you know? I mean, it all works out in the end. But at the end of the day, I love Final Fantasy. I love the series. I loved every single one of the games. I mean, 7 is what started me into the series, but then, you know, went on from that. And then when this game got announced, it had some trouble, especially with the E3 showcase of the Final Fantasy VII remake. That wasn't the promo. That was a promo. That wasn't a remake. That didn't help at the time. And then when 13 finally released, people didn't want that because they wanted a remake of Final Fantasy VII, but Square Enix was like, we're not doing that. So they gave us 13 instead, and people didn't like it. But it was still cool and it was great. I liked it, but a lot of people didn't like it, and it didn't. And then eventually we did get remake, and now people like the game again. Feels like this happened before. Can you imagine playing this game for the first time on the PS3 and seeing Lightning in high definition graphics, and she's doing all these flips and picks and dips, and it's so cool. It's so fucking cool. And the music is so good. I'm not gonna play it because they do have the tendency of getting copyrighted, and there's been a lot of news that it might get a remastered at some point, which it definitely needs it. There's been a lot of love for Lightning from the figure, from the death mat that they released not too long ago. I mean, Lightning has a potential of coming back and being good. The only character I didn't like in this game that kind of ruined it somewhat for me is Hope, because he was a bitch boy. Wow. But other than that, I love this game. I love this game so much. I played it so much. And for a time, it became my favorite Final Fantasy. I'm not gonna lie. It did beat 7 for me after a while. But then after I started thinking about Tifa, it made me go all the way back. Because I mean, it's Tifa. Who can beat Tifa? Now, the last game I played on the PS3, I started on the PS3, but then I moved it to the PS4 where I actually beat the game. And that is Akiba's Trip. Now, this game is truly a trip because it was not what I was expecting this game to be. Now, at the time, we didn't know that this was the sequel to the game, and there was a first one that was on the PSP called Hellbound and something, the subtitle, but that was the first game. But then this is the second game in the series, but we thought it was the first game because this is all we got. You are a guy that was trying to buy some anime figures that got kidnapped by this organization, and eventually you become a vampire from a girl, and then you have to rip people's clothes off to, you know, get them into the sunlight because they need to reveal that they're, you know, vampires. So you just go around ripping off people's clothes and having a bunch of fun time, and it's a very interesting and intricate game, and then you have different subplots that you can go through. It's a dating harem at the same time, and it has some really cool beat 'em up kind of like gameplay, and you actually get to run around to different types of locations within Japan or Akihabara, and like you get to see the Sega building, the Sega arcade building, which is really cool, and it's just like a lot of fun. I really do enjoy this game a lot, and I would love for them to do a reboot of this series at some point. I really love this game on the PS3, and then I loved it enough to buy it again on the PS4. I do want to buy it again for the Switch for the collector's edition, but that's gonna be another day. Here's how much I love this series. So when the first game got ported to the PS4 to come back out, I bought it originally for the PS4, which is the Akiba Strip, Hellbound, and the Briefed. That's the game, what it's called. I bought it a second time, factory sealed, just so I can have it for my collection. Because I just love Akiba Strip that much. It's that good of a game for me. I love this series a lot. And I would love for it to come back. But I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. Because XIII and also like, I think it's like a mix between XIII and Marvelous that owns this game. But like, it's like, I don't know. Anyway, I would love for this series to come back. And this was the game that started it all. And I played this game to death and back. And I still need to platinum the game, which I am planning on doing at some point. It had all kinds of collabs within it as well, from Neptunia, Supersonica was in this game. Kind of makes me want to play it now, honestly. Okay, stop. Okay, and that was mostly my fan service trip down memory lane with the PS3. Now, there was other games that I played on the PS3 from PlayStation Home, which that's a whole nother conversation entirely, because once you go to PlayStation Home, that was life-changing. And of course, DC Universe Online, which was also a great, time. I spent a lot of college years on those games, mostly PlayStation Home and DC Universe Online. Spend a lot of money that I should have been spending on books, but I can't let my league down. I can't pass up on this new dress for my character for PlayStation Home. Yeah, okay. All right. Anyway, PS3. It's a great system, a beautiful system, and if you don't have one already, you should definitely go get it. But don't trade all your systems for it, because that's not worth it. But I'm pretty sure you can find one that is pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, it's hella dusty, so I'm gonna have to clean it up. But look at this. This is the limited edition Lightning Final Fantasy XIII Japanese PS3. That is how much I love Final Fantasy XIII. I managed to find this on eBay for a good price, and I just immediately need to have it. And I've had it ever since. It's so good. It looks so clean, even for being a dusty right now. But it looks so clean, man. I love the PS3, and I probably want to collect more for it eventually, because I really do love the PS3. But that is me taking you down memory lane with my journey and fan service journey with the PS3. It was a lot of great times, a lot of great memories, and I would love to know what you had for your memory for the PS3. What games did you play? What things did you do to get it? Or if you didn't sell all your systems for it, let me know. Or if you've done that before for another console from the past, let me know. I would like to really know what you did for that. I don't know if that really made a lot of sense. Anyway, that is it for me. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Thank you so much for watching. Remember that fan service is the best kind of service, and I will see you in the next video next time. Bye me.